G'day crew, welcome to Daz's Random Stuff. Thought we'd do a review on the BMW G310gs. Thought we'd come down here to beautiful Point Lonsdale. I've owned this bike since new. I've done 4,000 Ks on it. And to be honest, it has not missed a beat. Well, it is for a spot to do a review. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful spot. Let's have a chat. Let's have a chat about the big G310gs. That's better. The 310gs. Beautiful bike. Fantastic. So 4,000 Ks I've done on this since new. Bought it brand new at Advantage Motorcycles in Victoria, in Werribee. They were fantastic. Nick and the crew down there. Awesome, really good to deal with. So it's had its first service, 1,000 K service. It has now done 4,000 Ks and I've loved every minute of it. It is such a good bike, easy to handle, plenty of power for 300cc. It's got a beautiful power curve, around about 6,000 RPM. It really jumps up in the revs, and it's just great, just a real good beast. So the things I've done to it are really basic stuff that doesn't cost a lot of money. Quad lock, that is fantastic. You whack your phone on there, just clips on, and that set me back around about, I think it was about 60 bucks by the time you buy the damper. So, you know, this is always a bit of a nightmare to get on with one hand, but there you go. Just clips on like that, just locks on. Such an easy thing to do, and that's awesome. 60 bucks worth. I whacked this dual USB charging port on the handlebars, because you can charge your phone off it, you can charge your GoPro off it, you can charge your GPS, which is another little thing that I whacked on there. A little bit hard to see in the sunshine, but really handy little jigger. Your phone's obviously got one, but it's just a whole lot easier to see, easier to navigate. So yeah, the USB charger direct to the battery, so you just run, it comes with all the cabling, the whole lot, and that little mount, and that's a waterproof cap. So when you're not using it, you just whack that cap on. That runs straight to the battery, so it's got all the wiring you need, positive and negative, onto the battery terminals underneath the seat. And it's pretty easy to run your wires straight through the frame section underneath and get to your battery under the seat. So that's a great little jigger, the USB charging port, dual USB charging port. So the GPS, that was just a 7-inch screen. Fits there really easily. I've just put a little mount on with a bit of foam there to stop it vibrating as you're belting down the road. That was about $50, I think, off eBay. So cheap enough, cheap as you like. It's not on at the moment because the sun's hitting it, so it's a bit hard to see. So yeah, just a couple of things I've whacked on there to make life a whole lot easier, navigating easier, communications, got to have that, awesome. So with the phone mount on there too, it's really handy. So I've actually got that on my helmet, which is a freed intercom. So it's a Bluetooth intercom, so you can have it on 2 helmets. You can talk to your pillion, or you can play your music through it, or you can hit that button and answer your phone, make phone calls. It's just a great little setup. So that just links straight to your phone, Bluetooth. It's awesome, absolutely love it. So other bits and pieces I've done on this bike, just whack that little bag on the back there. It's actually a tank bag. So it just works really well. So it's a tank magnet to sit up there on a metal tank because it's got the magnet still under it. So I just folded them under, and this thing extends right up here. So there's heaps of storage in it, heaps and heaps of storage. Works really well. Other bits and pieces on the bike that I've done, that higher windscreen, you'll notice the standard windscreen is only really short, which is pretty useless. I think it's just there for a look. This thing you can actually get up to 100k and the wind will flick over the top of your helmet, so gives you a little bit of protection, which is good. Really handy. That was about $50 on, I think that was on Alibaba. So great investment. That's a smoky tint one. You can get them in black or clear. Just a little bonus there, and it works really well. The old wheel stickers. I just love these things. They just look so good. I just love the colours of the bike. It just sets the bike off. All these beautiful colours. It's such a good looking bike. Those wheel stickers, I think personally, just set it off. They just really make it look great. Look at that, it's such a smart looking bike. And the colours just suit it. The colours just really suit the bike, the black. It's just awesome. Absolutely love it. And they're as cheap as, they are like, I think they're $5 on Amazon. Or Alibaba, I think, or AliExpress. $5. Can't go wrong. If you don't like them, just throw them away. Who cares? And they're reflective too. Safety first, if you're into that. So, what else have we done to her? What else have I done to this thing? Oh, handlebar risers. You can see them there. So I actually got, the first ones I got for this thing were just straight up risers. So I actually like to sit into the bike a bit more. So these ones here are offset. If you can see that, they're actually, that's the initial spot where they were, and so they've actually offset at 45 degrees and 30 millimeters high they are. So actually sets you back a little bit. It sets the handlebars back a little bit, and it's awesome because it makes me sit into the bike a whole lot more, and I really like that position, sitting into the bike. Bars back a bit, not hanging too far forward. So just a bonus, and they were about $50 or $60 because they're solid aluminium. So, and they give you the bolts and everything for them, so absolute bonus and easy to fit. Just take them off, take your top plate off, and see your original BMW top plate there will actually fit onto those. So you just clamp them down, bolt straight through there. Job's right. Very easy to fit, cheap enough. And the piece de resistance on this bike is that sprocket right there. So what I've done, I've upgraded from a 16 tooth original front sprocket to a 17 tooth, which has made the bike rev-less, so the engine's not working as hard at 100 k's an hour. And it's essentially given me more legs, because these things are sort of like a bit of a touring bike, obviously, you know, and an adventure bike, but that has given me a whole lot more pleasure to ride this thing. The seat isn't vibrating at 100 k's, it's not revving. I think it's taken a little over 500 RPM off the whole top end as you're belting along, so that's just a bonus. It's really pulled the rev range back heaps. That was about $40 on eBay. I think it was eBay US I had to get that. I struggled to get that in Australia. So absolute bonus. Took about 3 weeks to get here. Put it on and haven't looked back since. Really easy to do. There's 3 bolts on that cover. Take it off, undo your nut, pull the wheel in a bit, sprocket off, new one on, and tighten your chain up, cover back on. Really, really easy. Check my other video for the installation of that. Really straightforward. While we're here, that is an onboard charging port. So I've got a C-Tech charger for that. Let me just put that back on. So that's a C-Tech charging port. That goes directly to your battery as well. And there's a fuse in that, so anything fails, you're covered. So yeah, really handy device. So when you've got all these little bits and pieces charging all the time. And your battery, you want to keep your battery up during the cold winter. They get a little bit light on, the batteries, and don't like it too much in the cold. So that's a really handy thing to have on there, the onboard charging port. I think that's about all I've done to it. So all in all, the GS310 is a fantastic bike. Absolutely awesome it is. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's such an easy thing to ride. I think the advantage of these 310, the lower bike, it's only 160 kilos. I've been off-road on this quite a bit, and it just eats it up. Absolutely eats it up. If you're on a 1200, you couldn't do what I can do on this thing. It is a fantastic bike, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Would recommend it for the money. It's under $8,000 Aussie dollars, and it's brand new. 12 months warranty, or 12 months rego, plenty of warranty. It's awesome. If there is a downside to the 310, it is purely it just hasn't got the power to have a pillion on there and pass a car doing 100k or so. It just lacks a bit of power. You've got to kick it down a couple of gears and really get it revving, and it takes a while to get past the car. So obviously that's only a 310, so it makes it a little bit difficult. That's the only downside to this bike. The rest is fantastic. The suspension is a little bit soft for mine. It bottoms out quite easily, but depending on your weight, I'm only about 80 kilos, so suspension could do with a bit of a tune-up, bit of a tweak. But all in all, it's a ripper bike. It gets to about, I think I said it before, it gets to around about 6,000 RPM, has this beautiful little power curve, so it sort of really gets motoring after 6,000. It redlines at 10, so it's got plenty of get up and pep, but just lacks that little bit of grunt when you got someone on the back. But all in all, it's a ripper bike. I don't know whether you guys can see that dashboard. There we go. So it's done 3,700 k's nearly, so 4,000k review. I'm going to try and show you this little power curve that it's got up around the 6,000 RPM mark. Get down the gutter. Just versatile as this bike, really versatile. So check out the little power curve it's got. Look, it really jumps up around the 6,000k mark. It really sort of sinks into the seat as such. Really cool, you know. It's really surprising the power this thing's got for a small engine, I guess you'd say, 300cc. Goes really well. We'll get us on a little bit more of an open road and give it the berries. Brakes are fantastic on this thing too. You can stop on an absolute dime. Absolutely fantastic brakes, front and rear, full ABS. The only bit of a pain in the butt for me with the ABS is that I like to have the ABS switchable. So when I hit the tracks, when I'm going off-road, I like to actually turn it off, because I love to just lock up the back wheel and come in sideways, just slide it in sideways and power out of the corner. But this thing just won't let you do it. It sort of grinds and carries on and bumps around, so a bit of a pain in the butt, but I think there's a way around it. I think you can just have a little switch near the fuse box and turn it off. It'd be nice to run a switch up here somewhere. to actually turn it off from the handlebars. Anyways, something to think about. Let's go. That's really interesting. That's with, remember that speed is with the 17 tooth sprocket on the front, not the 16 standard sprocket. So that just gives you so much more legs. There was 140 k's an hour in controlled conditions, of course. That wasn't on a main road or any roads. So I think this thing would probably do around 160 kilometers an hour, which is around about 100 miles an hour. And I think it'd do it okay. I think it'd do it quite comfortably with that 17 tooth sprocket on it, but I don't think you need to be doing that sort of speed. But someone actually asked me on my channel, how fast will it go with a 17 tooth sprocket? So I'm estimating 160 k's an hour. I think that was up around 7,000 or 8,000, still had 3,000 k's to go on the top end. So that's got to give you another 20 or 30 k's an hour, so I might do 170, I don't know. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed that review. Don't forget to subscribe. Daz's random stuff. There's lots of little random things like this about this bike. It is such a good bike. You're going to love it. Just go buy one. $8 grand. Can't go wrong.